Hello, I am Pam and this is my channel, Made by Pam. Today is Friday, February 4th, 2022. What do I talk about now? I tried to do this earlier and I might still use some of it. I'm not 100% sure. So, I got my room cleaned up. I got all my fabric back down here pretty much. And realize I have a lot of like small pieces that I have like put in bags in anticipation of using it for something else. And I mean a lot of bags. I have like maybe six white, like 13-gallon garbage sacks filled full of fabric scraps from sewing. So yesterday I was looking and I was like, you know what I need to do is make one of those patterns. And I tried looking for it. It's like the scrap poof or whatever. It's like the little seat that has a zipper on it, and you stuff it full and then you zip it shut. And I can't remember exactly what it's called. I tried looking for it and I couldn't find it. I'm like, I remember watching several people that I watch talk about it several months ago. Oh, it was probably like last year around this time. So it was a while ago. And I was like, I need to figure out what that's called. Then I'm like, do I like try to make it like what they were making it on the pattern, or do I just make up my own? Because I could just sew a bunch of pieces together and then cut it out, so it would be like just random pieces sewn together, and then you cut it out and stitch it together with the other pieces. You know, it would just really be a scrap. Yeah, it's scrap. So I was thinking about doing that, because man, I have so many scraps. You know, so many. Why did I save them all? I don't know. In anticipation of using them as stuffing for toys, I don't know. Or just saving the scraps to make a scrap quilt. That too. So I just need to basically go through and figure out, you know, what I'm going to exactly do with that, because it's kind of overwhelming. So all of my scrap pieces, I compiled them all together so that they would be together for and just all in the same area. So they're not in any of my fabric stash bags that I made. They're all in like the plastic bags. So at least I know that the stuff in the plastic bags are scraps, and then the stuff in the fabric bags are like full pieces of fabric that can be made into something sustainable. And the small scraps are something I have to sew together to make it into something. Does that make sense? I hope so. I know, I'm just kind of rambling. But yeah, so that's what I have planned, is to eventually make that. I can't remember the pattern name of that, which would be cool to know, because if I got that and made that, and then I wonder if I have a pattern that does one of those. I think I probably do. I probably have one of those little like beanbag type poof patterns. I'm pretty sure I do. I have like a million patterns. Well, I don't have that many. Heck. But I have a lot. I guess I could go through and count them all, but that just seems overwhelming to me. Oh, I have a problem. So while I was going through my fabric stash and putting things away, I decided in one of my bags that I was going to put fabrics that I would like to designate to use for the project Dress-A-Girl dresses. So I have a couple pieces of fabric. Well, I guess not a couple of pieces. I have like a whole bag full of pieces. See, I got a whole bag full of pieces. They're just not a couple pieces, it's a whole bag. And a lot of the fabrics are ones that I used last year for the Dress-A-Girl project. Like, I think I made one out of this same fabric. And I still have quite a bit of it left. I have enough to make another little girl's dress. Or two. We'll see. So I have that. And then I have this cute little floral. And I might have enough of this one. Let's see. And this one I'm thinking I will probably need to make sure I put a lining behind it, because it is kind of thin. And then I have this blue fabric here that I would like to make one out of. Let's see. This one says a Berkshire by Janine Bach for Blue Hill Fabrics. I was trying to see if maybe it had like a date on it, but it doesn't. But I have this fabric, and I've had it for a while. I don't know how long, you know. And then I have this fabric, and this one just says light up your world with love. So yeah, I have that one. It has cute little beads and stuff on it. So I was thinking about using that one. Then I have some white fabric, which I would just use this as like a lining fabric, which it seems very nice. It almost seems kind of satiny to me. I don't know if this would be the best one to use, but it would be a good one for a lining. Then I have some other white fabrics here that I could use for linings. Then I have a pink and purple floral, like on an ivory background. And I've got quite a bit of this one, so I could make quite a few dresses out of that. Then I have this brown with the little birds and like little red things. Oh, and a couple more pieces of white fabric if I wanted to use it for lining. And then I have this one, which I was thinking was going to be good for if I put a lining behind it, because it is kind of thin. But I figured this might be cute for a little girl dress also. And then I have a stripe, which I could do some cool little like stripe play. like stripes going every which way with that. I have this piece of fabric. Now this piece of fabric was actually like a fuller dress, and I didn't make this. Got it from somewhere, probably in some clothing, and I was like, you know what, I like that. I don't like the design of the dress, but I liked the fabric. So I was thinking I could repurpose this as a little girl's dress. You know. Oh, and then I have another one here, which is a dress, and it looks like it's been altered before. Got a tag on it. So I was just going to repurpose this one too and make it into a little girl's dress, because that would be really cute. And then I have this black floral that I think would be cute, and it also seems kind of thin, so it would definitely have to have a lining behind that one, or even just using it as like a accent piece. We'll see what happens. And then I have this piece, which would look cute as a little girl's dress, and some more white fabric. And then some of the fabric, I just had it in a plastic bag that I just threw in there. So I made a dress out of this fabric last year also, and I have more of that, so I will use that. I have some of this, and I might have enough left of this one. If not, I can piece it with another one. I have more of this one that I also used for a little girl's dress last year. I think that's the same as that one. And another piece. I have some more scraps of this one that I used for a little girl's dress that I might finish with that purpose. And then I have this fabric here that I think I might use for the dress. So yeah, I have a whole slew of fabrics that I have set aside to use for a dress, and that's what I plan on doing. Alright, so I do plan on making trying to get at least a dress a month sewn up, if not 2 or 3 sewn up each month for the project Dress a Girl. I do need to order some labels, so I will get those ordered so I can put the labels on as I'm sewing them, because it's really not going to do any good to sew up the dresses and sew up the pockets if I don't have a label on them. You know, I want to do it in a process where as I'm making the pocket, I'm adding the label and then putting the pocket on the dress before I sew up the side seams of the dress, because it's so much easier to place it on a piece of fabric flat than to wait until it's all sewn up into the garment. So that is one of my plans. Let me know if you plan on doing the project Dress a Girl. It's going to be hosted by Mari from Mari Sews again this year. And a lot of this YouTube community, like the sewers, and just a lot of people are participating in the project Dress a Girl, making the dresses. And I find it's a good cause. And not only that, it uses up some of my excessive stash. Does it use up a whole lot? No. All this was just in one bag. Well, I couldn't tell you how many bags I have. Oh my goodness. It's exhausting. It took me like 3 weeks or more. Well, because my husband's coming home today, and he left 4 weeks ago. And so it was probably a couple days after he left, I finally decided to start cleaning. It took me a couple days. But so I finally decided, it might have been like a week after he left. So I had like 3 weeks of trying to organize it all and bring it all back down. It was a big job. And I used fabric that I had in my stash to make bags so I could put my stash in the bags. And it was a great cause. And I realized I really had a problem. And I tell my husband, like, okay, well, I think I'm done thrift store shopping. I think I'm done fabric shopping. It's like, I don't need any more fabric. Do I want more? Sometimes, yeah. Do I need more? Absolutely not. Does that mean I'm never gonna buy any more? Are you kidding me? You can't, like, not buy fabric. But I've been doing good. The last time I went to the fabric store, well, to the thrift store, was on January 12th. That was the last time I went and bought fabric from the thrift store. And I think I'm doing pretty good. You know, let me think. Did I buy any fabric from Walmart within the last couple weeks? Nope. I looked at fabric, but I did not see any that I liked. I did not see any that yelled out to me saying, "Take me home." Yeah, they didn't have any. So I haven't bought any new fabrics since the 12th of February. I mean, 12th of January, not February. Silly me. It's because today is the 4th of February. So, I'm almost a whole month. Yay. Alright, so I have those fabrics set aside. I will get started on those. I did finish my shirt. I basically took and I cut off a piece. And I realized after I did it that I should have like curved the back a little bit and, you know, not just like cut it straight across. And you'll see as I explain it. I'll add a little clip in there. So, I finished my blouse. Well, it was a dress. And it was so oversized that I decided that it would be better off as a blouse. So, here it is. The sleeves are a little bit big, per se. So, they do, like, kind of blouse over. But that's okay, because they don't get in my way when I'm doing stuff, because they have the cuffs on them. I'm kind of, like, using my ironing board and set up my background. Because my son is right there. Okay, I'll get you something in a minute. Let's say that. So I did end up kind of cutting it a little too short. So if I lift it up, and where are my overalls? It goes like right up on the sides. So it does raise up too much. The front, you know. Oh, you got crackers. Okay. So I did. I took a little dart in the back and pulled it in just a little bit, like at least, I think it's like almost 2 inches, I think. Well, 1.5. So like a total of 3 inches in each dart in 2 different sections on the back. Yep, I did. And then I did bring the sides in quite a bit. So it's still, you know, plenty roomy. Now pretty much, and of course the little lines don't match up, obviously. Mom. But it's okay. I'm going to be wearing it under overalls anyways. Wearing the overalls, you can't really tell that I didn't match up my lines. You know, the side lines were, you know, okay, pretty much. This side, no, it was way off. But, you know. You want me to open it? Okay. So you could see how it, as I raised it up, it was, you know, lifted up on the sides and stuff. And I was doing that from my, behind there, through my ironing board, because I had my little boy down here earlier, and that was a lot. I had cut off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 buttonholes on this that I had ended up cutting off from this fabric. So I have 7 buttons. And after cutting it off and sewing it all together, I realized that I didn't quite give myself enough leniency, but I'm only going to be wearing it underneath, you know, my pants anyways, because that's what I do. You know, because the sides will pull up a little bit at times, but I'll be able to notice and tuck it back in. And when I'm out and about anyways, especially right now, I wear a coat, so nobody really sees what's underneath the coat, because that's just the way it is. Because I still think it's cold enough to wear a coat. Let's see, what degrees is it outside right now? Is it like 34 degrees? So yes, I still wear a coat. It's not quite warm enough to go without a coat. I was even wearing my little beanie hat. It's not warm enough to not wear one. So I was wearing one. You know, and when it gets like in the 50s and 60s during the day, yeah, I might switch over to a different coat, to a different jacket. But for now, I will continue to wear the coats that I have. Oh, and I did finally stitch up the pocket. So I went around and where the seams are, because it's a ready-made coat. It's one that you buy from the store, you know. I'm not the biggest at, like, making a coat yet. I've made jackets and stuff, but like an actual coat I haven't made. Like I've made denim jackets and just different jackets, but for a coat I haven't really gone in down that realm of making an actual coat, which I do plan on doing eventually. You know, I think I have some fabric, some like wool type fabric that I want to use for a coat, and I would definitely add a lining to it. I have like a lot of lining fabrics that are thin that are meant to be a lining for like jackets and coats. So I do plan on making an actual coat, maybe one that I would wear all the time. You know, but yeah, man, I've been jabbering a long time. So I talk about what I've been sewing this week and what my future plans are, and a little bit about life. You know, my kids have gone back to school this week, which has been great. It has been so nice. My 5-year-old was still home, but he goes back next week. Yay. You know, it'll be nice to have them all back in school. You know, it's not that I'm against them being at home, but I like when they're at school. So, that'll be good. Yeah. Well, thank you guys all so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay creative, and talk to you next time. Bye.